This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Squarespace. Oh, hello there, cameraman that I asked to stand there and film me. I didn't see you there. Let's go ahead and do another episode of Ask the Buffalo. This is the show where you can ask me, John Rettinger, any question you have from the wide world of technology. This Thanksgiving episode is going to be a bit of a tour of the Techno Buffalo office, and us just wandering around asking your questions. If you want to ask questions, you can send them in one of two ways. On Tuesday, you can go to technobuffalo.com. We'll have a post up there asking people to submit their questions. You can go ahead and ask your question in the comments, or if you're more social networkly inclined, you could send your question to Twitter using the hashtag AskTheBee. On this episode of Techno Buffalo, we're going to talk Xbox Next, rumored to be Xbox 720. We're going to talk cell phones. We're going to talk about what your next device should be, and we're going to talk a little bit about tablets. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so welcome to the Techno Buffalo offices. We're going to be doing a full, more in-depth tour that goes through everything, but for right now, let's just unlock the door. Come on in, Mr. Cameraman. Alright, so our first question comes from Twitter and user FroggyTech, who wants to talk the next generation Xbox. He's asking, do you think the Xbox 720 will be released, and if so, when? So yeah, of course the Xbox 720 is going to be released. It might not be called the Xbox 720. It might be called the Xbox 4, even though it's not technically the fourth console, but definitely we're going to see a next generation Xbox. There have been rumors, though, that we might see this next generation console as early as E3 2012, although Microsoft and Sony have actually both said that their current generation consoles, the Xbox 360 and the PS3, are going to have a 10-year lifespan. So we're still about 2 years away from that 10-year lifespan. So do I think we're going to see it this year? Probably not. I think E3 2013 we'll probably see it with a maybe late 2013, early 2014 launch. At least that would be my guess. The next question comes from user Logically Tech, who wants to talk about carriers capping your data. He asks, John, where do you see the future of cloud computing moving as carriers begin to restrict users with more and more limiting data caps? That's a great question. So as data caps get lower and lower, we go from unlimited to 10 gigabytes, 5 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, and lower. It's getting harder and harder to get your information. And cloud computing is a great example. Cloud computing, while not taking local storage, does use a ton of data. You look at things like iTunes Match or Google Music, yeah, you can stream all your stuff. You don't have to have a giant phone or a giant tablet with 100 gigs or 120 gigs of storage. But you do need a huge amount of data in order to get that stream to come down. So it's going to be tough. I think what we might see, and I think AT&T may have laid the foundation for this, is carriers actually starting to put out their own Wi-Fi networks. Not only will the end users get the same data experience that they'd get if they had Wi-Fi or if they had 3G or 4G connection, they're also going to get access to all the same stuff they could do before, so you could stream. Chances are you could stream it faster than you could on your 3G connection in the past. So the answer, I think, is unfortunately going to have to be Wi-Fi, or carriers are going to invest billions and billions and billions of dollars to upgrade their network to support just the massive amounts of data-hungry devices that are out there. Our next question comes from Clint Bishop, and he wants to talk holidays. He asks, John, should I get the iPad 2 for Christmas or hold out and see if I see an iPad 3 in March? Hashtag AskTheBee. That's a great question, and if I knew the answer to that, if I could pin down the exact date that Apple is going to release the iPad 3, I would be a gajillionaire with a capital G. But unfortunately, we don't know, so we can only go by past history, past release dates, and alleged supply orders that we've seen. And we are starting to hear rumors now of iPad 3 Retina displays being ordered by Apple. We keep hearing March, for a release date. And generally, where there's a little bit of smoke with Apple, there's always a little bit of fire. So do I think you should get the iPad 2 or wait for the iPad 3? Well, as is the case with most Apple products, there's always something new coming out. And that's really true with technology. If you don't like the current generation Android phone, wait 4 days, there'll be a new flagship. There's always something new coming out. There's always something around the corner. If the iPad 2 right now suits your needs, or will suit your needs next month for the holidays, then get it. you're gonna get a great tablet. If you're the kind of person though, and you know yourself, that has to have the latest and greatest, then yeah, wait and get the product right at release. But who knows what it's going to be, who knows what the price is going to be, what carriers might have it. The general rule that I tell people is if you're happy with the current device, then go ahead and get it when you need it, because you just never know what might be coming out. Refreshing. Our next question comes from user Amp2206, who also wants to sort of talk iPad. He asked, John, what do you feel is the best alternative to the iPad? Well, what I feel is the best alternative to the iPad, it's gonna vary a little bit depending on your price tolerance. If you asked me a few months ago, I would have said that $99 touchpad for sure is not only a great alternative, but in a lot of ways better than the iPad. Nowadays, for products that are released, it would be the Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 or the Asus ePad Transformer. If you want to wait a few weeks, probably a few months or so, we're gonna have Tegra 3 coming out with quad cores and actually that 5th core in the Transformer Prime. So it's really going to depend on how long you can wait to get the tablet of your choice. If you want quad core, you want that awesome performance, and you want the better battery life that 5th core companion core is going to give you, then you're gonna wanna wait until December. We're also on the dawn of Ice Cream Sandwich coming out for tablets, which we've heard rumors we'll be seeing sometime in the December, January timeframe. So, that might be something worth waiting for. If you need to get something now, the Asus Transformer or the Galaxy Tab 10.1 are the best, truest competitors to the iPad. Especially if you need mobile flash, and get mobile flash while you still can, because you're not gonna be able to get it for that much longer. I wanna take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at Squarespace. As we wander through these halls, you might be wandering through the virtual halls of creating your own website. If you are, Squarespace is going to be for you. It's a fully hosted platform, there's nothing to install, it's instantly upgraded and has complete stability. Point and click design control, you get a style editor, it's incredibly easy to use, tons of flexibility, social widgets for Twitter, Flickr, etc., or whatever other social networks you guys might be using. Beautiful galleries and slideshows, 24-hour customer support. Call them at 3 in the morning just to say hi and ask them why your social media link's not working. They will help you out. If you want to try Squarespace without having to commit, you can get 2 weeks free if you go to squarespace.com and enter the coupon code TECHNO11 at checkout. TECHNO11, TECHNO11. You'll show your support for Techno Buffalo, for all of us here, and you will literally help keep our lights on. You're gonna get an awesome product, and it's going to be fun to build your own website. So let's continue the tour and the questions. So our next question comes from user AdamTicker11, and he wants to talk LTE, like a lot of you guys want to talk about. He says, I'm getting a new smartphone that is 4G or 4G LTE capabilities on AT&T at Christmas time. What phone should I get? That's a very good question. And by coincidence, look what I have in front of me. I've got the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket for AT&T that happens to be 4G LTE. This was a phone that we reviewed actually earlier on in the week. It's a larger variant of Samsung's very popular Galaxy S2, using a little bit of a different chipset than most Galaxy S2s are. It's a Qualcomm device, so it's not going to be as fast, but you're still getting incredible performance, and you're getting a really great phone. The only downside of this guy is certainly it's not running Ice Cream Sandwich. Screen resolution's the same as its 4.3-inch brother at 480 by 800, but you're still getting a ton of stuff packed into one device. So if we can let the box tell us anything here, you're getting 4G LTE speeds. You're also going to get HSPA Plus for 4G fallback if you're not in one of the very limited 4G LTE areas right now. Flip the lights on here. You're also going to get that 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor we discussed, a gig of RAM. Of course, it's got the Wi-Fi's Android. It is Gingerbread, dual cameras, and the rest of that exciting stuff you'd expect from a modern device. If you're on AT&T and you want LTE and you want it today, this is going to be the phone for you to pick up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Ask the Buffalo. It's a bit of a random walkthrough and tour of the Techno Buffalo offices. If you want to see more, we'll have a full walkthrough and tour coming up very soon. For all your tech news, be sure to check us out at technobuffalo.com for unboxing, reviews, rumors, and random videos like this. I'm your host, John Rettinger, and I'll see you in the next video. Refreshing.